In springtime, a man's fancy turns to love. But do you feel you've lost a little pep in your step? Do you need to add that fire back into what you love? What you need is the extended mission pack to help you be ready when the time is right. The new and improved extended mission pack will bring back that passion you're longing for. Remember, the extended mission pack, it'll be ready when you are. Do not drink to excess when employing the new extended mission pack. Driving while using the extended mission pack can lead to serious injury and damage you and your miniatures. If your game lasts longer than 4 hours, seek medical attention immediately. If you experience blindness, dizziness, dry mouth, or swelling the feet or other extremities, cease use immediately and seek treatment right away. Ask your favorite Flames of War expert about the extended mission pack and its free download today. You know when the time is right.
Hello, everyone. Springtime. A man's fancy turns to love. Well, let's put a little pep in your step. Yep, we're going to be here talking about the new mission pack.
Your game lasts more than 4 hours.
If your game lasts more than 4 hours, man, you may seek medical attention. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Joe Lewis. Yeah. I'm your host of Battle Rankings Live. I am joined by my lovely and talented producer. Say hi, Ann.
Hi, Ann.
Wait. Yeah, so there we go. So we thought, kind of tie it all together. Hey, what song was that playing there, Ann?
That was actually part of the William Tell Overture.
Yes.
Believe it or not, it's like this little peaceful spring section in the middle of it. It's the third movement. I think it might be the third movement.
I think it's the third movement.
It's the third movement of the William Tell Overture, yeah.
Yes.
And it goes right into the one we know. So.
Yeah. So, there you go.
Oh.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well,
bring in your guest or whatever you want to do.
Well, yeah. As a matter of fact, I will bring in our guest. Hey, Brian.
You
think we're weird, don't you?
In suppository form?
Suppository form, yes.
Yeah.
This came in suppository form, I guess.
Well, sometimes, depending on the way things go, you might feel like it is.
Your game is lasting 4 hours, yes.
So, well, let's take care of some housekeeping, because that is the upcoming events. So this weekend, Retro Station, Alabama. Brian, I believe you're going to that one.
Indeed. Yep. Going to drive out there for that. Jackson is also going. So it'll be a good time to help support that growing store, and just have a good time and meet some new people.
Yeah, I was thinking about going, but I got shutters to paint.
Trust me, he'd rather be playing.
I'd rather be playing, but but a man's got to take responsibility. Even though his fancy does turn to his love. They're doing Late War 105, 3 rounds. Pretty cool. I wonder if they're going to do the extended missions or just do regular. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, so I actually just got off the phone with Lad not too long ago, about 30 minutes ago. And they're actually doing something pretty unique. They are building tables and then assigning a mission to that table. And then you roll for whatever table you get on. So I will say I've never done that before. Be very interesting to see how that works out, especially in the later rounds I say later round, there's only 3 rounds, but in round 3 where a lot of people have played a multitude of different tables. So it'll be some new missions, and it'll be some of the older missions.
Some are our favorite. Also this weekend up in Rochester, Minnesota, they're doing Team Yankee early. So it's kind of like Nom and some early, regular Team Yankee stuff.
So if they're doing early, well, I don't think it's really classified as early Team Yankee at the moment, but I think that's probably the intention. It's Nom and Fate of the Nation. Those points are compatible between the 2 periods.
So that's what they're doing. On the 17th, we got a whole bunch of stuff going on. Pasadena, they got Gameology in Pasadena. They're doing a Late War. I like this one. In Rochester again, Last Chance Team Yankee. So at D6, they're doing T Yankee 85 points. And then here in Indianapolis, where I'm at, Family Time Games, we're doing Late War 105. We will be doing the extended missions, so they posted that. On the 17th, also on the 17th in Saskatchewan, they're doing the Royal Canadian Legion. I guess they're renting the hall there. They're doing 105 points also. Game Vault in Delaware, also doing Late War 105. And then we jump. I don't have anything for May yet. I'm sure stuff will pop up. But just to note why they have the Last Chance Team Yankee tournament, it's because the Team Yankee season officially ends the 30th of April. So I'll digress to that later. June, there's DICON in Connorsville, Illinois. And then there's Team Yankee. So the Masters of Team Yankee is official. It's good. I'm going to be TOing. And we're going to hold it at Family Time Games again, just because of the circumstances. And that way, because I can better control, get the tables ready in a store that I'm familiar with, and have good tables for you guys that come out for Team Yankee Masters. But that'll be the 26th and 7th of June. I still kind of penciled here in gray. We've got NashCon, Gen Con, Advance the Colors, CincyCon, and Historic Con, which will be taking place at the same time as Fallen or something like that. Anyway, I have the dates for there. Nothing announced yet. And I know NashCon is working on it. They're trying to get the space. I'm pulling for you guys. Pulling for you. So So we got team. That's why we're in the World War III thing again for Team Yankee. Let's do this. I'm gonna pull up another thing. Here we go. We'll pull this up so you guys can see it. So this is a battle ranking site, and this is what the current standings for Team Yankee. There's a drop-down box here. You could see, well, actually, it doesn't really. That's interesting. Oh, you don't see the drop-down box on the viewer there. Anyway, so you could drop down here and see the current season, or for the last calendar month. And what we have, Chris says for Gen Con, he had further conversations, but nothing confirmed yet. Yeah, I know. As soon as we know something, you guys will know something.
Gen Con moved back, right?
Gen Con did move back. Rich Bear says on April 17th and 18th, Team Yankee, the Mid-Atlantic Challenge, Team Yankee Tournament, graded pursuits. Okay. That sounds interesting. So right now, Cedarburg is ahead in points, followed by we're like half of what we were last year, but hey, it's COVID, and I mean, what can we expect? But we're going to keep soldiering forward because that's what we do. You got John Mayer, Vigor, Howard West, Keith Gilmore. So you got your some usual cast of characters and some other people, but that's the way it is right now. We got a couple more tournaments to get in there, so places could be switching. Let's go down a little. Oh, hey, look at these two losers. Well, it doesn't matter much for me, but anyway, we're in good company. There's Andrew. Anyway, so that's where we're at with Team Yankee. By the way, when I got the site up, you can also check out the Flames of War. That's there too for the rankings. We've had 33 games so far that season. That's pretty good, actually. And then for the season itself, look, John's ahead in both. We can't allow that to happen. And then you got everyone else falling, filling in the rest. So there you go. Check that out. But I want to take you actually to the Flames of War site, and in the navigation, Flames of War site, the battle ranking site. So it's battlerankings.com. And here, this is where you find the rankings at this navigation here. But I want to go to the gaming resources. And in here, I put the mission packs. You got the standard mission pack. You got the printable mission pack. And lessons to the front. Some other things. Now, what these are these are the links to the Battlefront site. So instead of you looking for them, I did the work for you. I have the links here. So you come here and you could pretty much get everything. Also the Team Yankee, some Firestorm stuff that they did. And also you could get the submissions forms for battle rankings and the instructions for how to submit. We got some other items in here too, but Owen did this thing for a mega battle, how to run a mega battle. I did a thing about social distancing, some tips. Got a lot of that. Did that last year. Hold on. I get this one in here too. April 21st. I think it's yes. It'd be the 21st. No, it wouldn't be the 21st. It would be the 24th. So Oh, I see. He's doing kind of a European thing. Threw me off. 24 April 21, 105 Team Yankee at Hard Knocks Games. The extended missions will be used, and look out, they bumped it out 15 minutes. So 2:45 with those new missions. That's pretty cool. Boy, these guys coming in here fast and furious. 24th, 100 points, red on blue. Welcome to the jungle. And it's a NAM tournament as finally on Central Christian Academy in Pennsylvania. So it's near Pittsburgh. So I'm gonna get those things up there for you guys. But anyway, so it's a lot of stuff's coming out. There's plenty of opportunities out there. Get some Team Yankee if you want to make the cut for Masters, or solidify your cut to Masters. So that stuff's out there. If we only had an events page to put it on, I'm working. Well, anyway, so we got all that. Let's. That was Brian. Let's get to the main topic. And let me pull back up the item. Boom. Hello. All right. So let's talk about battle plans. So first of all, the regular battle plans, all the ones that we know and love. As far as I could tell, because I wasn't really paying attention to too much, I think there's one change, and that is rear guard has been removed and fighting withdraw has taken its place. And I believe the only difference between the two is that fighting withdraw ends on defender's turn 8 versus rear guard was defender's turn 9. So it ends one turn earlier. But I think that's the thing there. But let's talk about why we're all here, and that's the extended battle plans. First of all, I want to tell everyone, no matter if you get a blue on blue or a red on red, the thing is, I know some people get a little thrown off by allied player or axis player. Just think that as player 1 and player 2. So just put a player 1 there. That could be you. Matter of fact, you could think of it that way. And player 2 is your opponent. And so when you pick, look at the grid. It's equal. There's no one side gets it different from another side. And then you can look at your missions that way. So there you go with that. So, but let's look at these battle plans. So I'll break this down. The first section I'm going to be doing is the one that has the most common in it, and that's if you and your opponent. By the way, if you like what we're doing, hit the like button, follow us, subscribe.
All that good stuff.
All that good stuff. Because I'll tell you what, that way you get a notification when we go live, any other information. And here's the thing, because if you're not watching it, I can guarantee it, your opponent is. Okay, so you want to be get this top-notch information and stay on top of your game. You definitely want to watch this stuff. So here we're going to break this down. We're going to take a look at it. If you go, both you and your opponent go attack, or maneuver, or defend. They used to be the same. They changed it. If you could take a look, there's not as much contact. Dust up is not still there, so you get your fair fight still. But they added this thing called Scouts Out to each one, and the maneuver they have one. It's called Outflanked. So we'll take a look at those two. But hey, Brian, you want to make your comment about if you roll a 1 for attack or maneuver?
Yeah, I was more than a little dismayed to see that they put contact and attack. One, it's just a terrible mission. But two, I mean, that being that it's so hard for the defender to actually, you have to stop the events. You have delayed scatter reserves. So by the time everything gets on where you can stop that event and just start pushing forward, generally by that time, the game is going to be over, or you're going to run out of time to do that, to complete that, because you have to go take the other objective as the defender. Yeah, I mean, if I was a TO, I would I'd either cross contact out or make a change to it, like take off scattered reserves for the defender and just make it delayed reserves. So yeah, I can't believe that they would put a mission like that operates so poorly into the attack position. The other ones, you can make a real good case for the attack maneuver or defend. But yeah, so not too happy with that. It's just that mission needs a lot of work, and probably should be taken out of play regardless.
Well, I think Chris is summing up here is that free for all only appears twice in the whole matrix. So I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So I think, for me, for contact, if I end up being the defender, and by the time I beat back the attack and have enough to actually start moving forward, it's like the time's almost done. It's it is a draw heavy, I would say, mission. It's just either the attacker is going to win or it's going to be a draw, and so the mission needs work. I guess it'll be up to TOs to take that into their own hands on how they want to handle that. But I would strongly caution using it in the at least in any format, but especially in that attack role. All right. Well, let's take a look at this Scouts Out mission. Mm-hmm. So with Scouts Out, we look at it here. We see okay, just want to make sure. All right, the Scouts Out. This is an interesting one. It's like, I don't know, maybe some variation of some other, like, I don't know, Dust Up or something like that, where you got the two corners. But it's a meeting engagement, delayed reserves. The high die is the attacker. Sorry, I messed up there. Both players place two objectives. Everyone starts with 60% on, and the objectives turn hot on turn 1. There is a recon option. That's by going left of your deployment zone if you're looking straight on to it. And you could move out in this land. I did figure out from starting from your point to your corner to the other corner, using that the square root of a squared plus b squared. It's 18 inches from one end to the other. That's as close as you could get, or 18.1. So you could get real quick, hot and heavy into the thick of things real quick. I think I would need to play this, especially with your reserves pretty much coming right on top of where your objectives you are holding. It's like, and it's delayed. It's, I don't know, Brian, but I don't know if it's kind of like you almost have to take the objective that you placed like by turn 3. Almost feels that way.
Yeah. I have a feeling this is going to be one of those that's going to be really terrain dependent on if you're going to get a good deal or not. I haven't played this one. It's one of the few I haven't played. But, I mean, yeah, I mean, you're pretty much going to – you have an opportunity, like you said, to spearhead out to the left into the open areas. And it is interesting that they chose not to put the reserves coming in to that area or from the corner. I don't know. It's a very strange mission.
Yeah, it's what also the attacker basically – when you begin, you both roll a die. The high die picks the corner. So if you're clever, you can really put your opponent in a bad spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not – I mean, it's probably not going to be one of my favorite missions. I mean, we have so many good ones in that, Dust Up is fantastic. Even Encounter has its own merits. For a meeting engagement, I'm glad to see there's a new meeting engagement available to us. Whew, this one looks pretty rough. Yeah, it's to be seen. I will look forward to playing this. But next time I go down to Houston to get some playtest games in, or not playtest, but to get some games in, I'll definitely have to run this one.
Yeah, I think Chris said here, it'd be tougher to win an encounter because the reserves enter right into the deployment zone. Right, and then he's kind of echoing what we were talking about. But yeah, it's because I think the only good news is that you're when they enter, they're at least 16 inches away. But they could just move up and shoot you right off that objective. Once again, all depending on it's. I think this is really terrain dependent. You win the die roll, you put your opponent in a really bad spot, and then you push like the daylights, and go for it. Of course, what's the worst goes wrong? You get shot off the objective, push back, and then now they have to spend. Now they can then try to go for their objective. But
they're going to have the same problem you are. So I think, and I agree with Chris on this, that it is going to be harder simply because everything's concentrated into basically one small area, and it's really going to favor hyper aggressive armies, in my opinion, to get over there and start attacking that objective before, and hope your opponent doesn't get reserves on turn 1 to be able to try to push push people off that objective. But if you get held up, then it's everything in their force. It can basically be in that one area. It's a very weird and tough mission, especially with that condensed reserves. Like I said, to me, this is almost screaming like reserves should come in from the opposite corner or something like that. But maybe that was too close to another mission style, so they decided to put the reserves behind behind your deployment zone. So,
yeah,
unusual mission.
Well, I'd say this one probably going to definitely need recon.
I think having that would absolutely help. But then again, that one corner is close enough to, if you're a hyper aggressive force, you could potentially just go from that corner and could be on the objective in a turn or so. Definitely before, especially if you're tanks, you can get over there with a lot of machine gun shots before the defender has opportunity to potentially move items or teams and units onto that objective to protect it. So it's in a way, it's really going to mess with how the reserves go, because instead of putting that, those tanks in reserve that you do on all your other missions, now you're going to have to keep those on the board because you have to kind of counter what your opponent has, which is probably some things that are going to be rushing over. So it's really going to be a cat and mouse game on what's going in the reserve. So it's really going to make you think and pick wisely what you do. And the fact, I believe the attacker nominates their reserves first, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So, so the defenders, in that aspect, the defenders going to have an advantage. They'll get the poor terrain, but they'll be able to see what the attackers, putting their tanks on, and they'll have to counter and put maybe less infantry on the board, and they have them come wandering on. So, very unusual mission.
It says both players select up 60 and rest hold. Then starting with the attacker, they take turns replacing. Yeah, it's kind of like Encounter or Dust Up in that case. All right. Let's take a look at the next one, Outflanked. All right, now we're starting to get different.
Yeah.
So the special rules: ambush for the defender, immediate reserves, but for the defender it has no spearhead. What? How can you win the game without recon? Anyway, the defender picks a table quarter to defend. Attacker places 2 objectives around that area. Range in markers. Defender has 60. The attacker has 100% on board. The turn hot on turn 6, and that's when you start checking for victory conditions. And so the map's a little bit different in this one. And what's interesting is that you could have the attacker do a recon up this way to try to go into the flank here, which you can hang out an objective here. Now, of course, the defender is that they could see that coming a mile away by when you place an objective over here. But I see an objective being placed in this area and one over here, so you have, oh good lord, 24 inches between the 2 objectives, and then you do some token force to push this way, and then I don't know. It depends what you want. What they both have. But once again, this is a where you're both attacking, or no, you both maneuver because it's only the maneuver. And I don't know. What do you think of this one?
I've actually played this one before, and it is quite fun. I was the attacker in our game, and basically did exactly what you said. I put the one objective over the half point line, spearheaded down, and the defender as a counter puts a ton of infantry over there, and so we were playing Team Yankee, and the other objective, of course, as far as ways you can get. But the problem with that is the reserves are immediate, and again, it's such a compact area, especially in Team Yankee. But it'll be somewhat the same in Flames of War. They can get to the objective so quickly. So 16 inches from that edge, and then you're 10 inches from that. And then of course, I mean, it's just so close. They can get reserved so quickly to either one of the objectives that it really balances out this mission. I really enjoyed it. The game was really, really close. I ended up in mine giving up on the one objective across the half point line and going for the back one, and was able to get to it. And reserves were coming on and shooting me in the side of of the tanks, and the infantry were in there duking it out. It was a fantastic game. And I think this is probably, it doesn't look like it. You're like, oh my goodness, what's with this really skewed area? But I think this is a really balanced. And I don't know if it appears more in the Matrix, but I really enjoyed this one.
I think, let me flip back here. I think it only appears, it appears Outflanked. There's Outflanked there. So far twice. Three. Oh, wow. Yeah, right. So yeah, it's in this combination or right here. So yeah, it's maneuver, defend, or maneuver. That's it.
Yeah, it's like I said, it was a fun mission. I wish it was more on the Matrix more, maybe in place of Contact, but not trying to scare people one way or another. But I really enjoyed it. I would definitely be looking forward to playing this particular mission in a tournament, or even just getting some games in. Lot of variation can happen with it.
Right. Yep. Okay, so let's move on. Now, basically, if you pick attack maneuver, or you pick anyway that combination, there are 3 new missions here. So I think this is a big change for the maneuver people who like to take maneuver, because now we're adding escape, gauntlet, and spear point. So breakthrough and counterattack, well, we know what those are like. All of a sudden you have fighting withdraw on here. Oof. And which is like, hey, I'm picking maneuver. All of a sudden you get fighting withdraw, and you're like, oh lordy. As the defender. But let's take a look at escape. So this one is this one's definitely different. The defender gets an ambush. Defender has immediate reserves. The defender picks a short edge of the table. The defender attacker places one objective, kind of like just in no retreat. The defender goes first, which is interesting. There are ranges and markers. And the objective goes hot on turn 1, and the defender starts checking on turn 6, which with them going first means the attacker doesn't have a turn 6 maneuver to get within 8. So you kind of lose that one turn to get a little bit closer. So warning there, because starting at turn 6, the defender goes. The attacker only has 5 turns. Especially since the defender's reserves come in your backfield.
Yeah.
Which I guess, the good news and the bad news. If you are hunkered down and gone to ground and they get reserves the first turn, great. But the thing is, what's the chances of getting reserves on the first turn? 2 out of 6.
Let's explore that a little bit more. what's the odds of getting terrain where you can put everything in terrain to get concealment and gone to ground, so that your units don't get obliterated when they come on from when the defender's reserves come in that first round. I think that's probably the bigger issue I have with this, with the defender going first, is and heaven forbid this mission is in the Team Yankee matrix. It would not be a fun mission for that particular rule set. But I mean, this mission is really going to be terrain dependent for the attacker. On am I going to have enough areas? First round he's not bringing his, like my reserves are 4 Panthers coming in, and just blasting his tanks out of his crocodiles or whatever, out of oblivion. So.
The thing about it is, once again, the defender can pick he picks his area, and basically he's like the attacker. Really, it's role reversal.
Yeah, and the fact that they can move and the defender can move on reserves and be within short range to shoot at stuff. I really wish they would have moved maybe the attacker deployment 4 more inches towards center line, or even put it on center line, and then maybe move the objective area back a little bit to help with that. But I don't think this is going to be a favorite mission for anybody, especially if you're the attacker. I can imagine, Vincent with his, attacking SS pack front list. I don't think he'll probably find it a very enjoyable mission, especially if he's trying to attack into, say British who's got miles and little wasp and stuff like that can get really close really quickly, and dig those pack fronts out. So not overly impressed with this particular mission. I am glad to see they didn't give them the defender mines, because that would really kind of,
Oh, that would just been too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was putting all this together, I was like, oh man, I'm glad there's no mines in this one. It's tough enough.
It really is. I mean, the attacker really should be going first, just to give them a little bit of opportunity to kind of protect themselves. I mean, you have enough urgency in this mission that with the defenders, with defending reserve coming in from behind, that the attacker doesn't need, more negatives. They know that they're going to have to get up and move. So give them opportunity to get up and protect themselves as well as attacking that objective. So we'll see how this goes.
I think we'll probably should have to start doing some statistics capture. When if who wins more, the attacker or defender in these things.
Yeah.
So, we'll start. We'll start getting some statistics out there. I think once again, depending on terrain, this defender going first, which really shortens up the attacker with the 1 turn. By the way, you could recon backwards.
You certainly could. I don't know. I mean, if it was an important piece of terrain, you could certainly do that. And the other thing is to, deal with the stuff that is, coming in from reserve, which would work well against my list, which only have 1 unit. But somebody that has, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 platoons or units coming in, it just take too much time, because then you have to turn around, and after the sixth turn, then you start checking. So it's going to be a rough list for as contact is rough for the defender, this one it looks to me is going to be rough for the attacker.
Yeah, I agree. But should be interesting. I think I'd rather be the defender in this one. But all
Definitely.
right. Let's move to Gauntlet. All right, now this is starting to look really alien. I think okay, so the special rules. Immediate reserve for the attacker. It's a meeting engagement. So use the meeting engagement for the attacker who goes first. Scattered delayed reserves, a little bit different than you're normally used to. The one side of the table, the left side for the defender, is a 1, 2, 3. The right side's a 4, 5, 6. Which I don't know if it makes too much difference. I don't know. Well, I guess it'd be about terrain. So the defender picks the long edge of the table. I was like, wait a minute, what? Oh yeah, I guess because that's where you're butted up against the long edge, right?
Yeah.
The attacker is centered on the other side. By the way, in Team Yankee, I don't know if that's big enough to put a Russian attacker.
Well, you better mount those troops up.
Yeah. Everyone, the attacker and defender start with 60, and the objectives go on in turn 6, which means you got to hold that. Oh, by the way, when I first thought of this, and I was thinking, the elf shot the food, the wizard, the wizard's it. Remember the Gauntlet, the video game?
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually have a version of that on my PC.
So, wow, this one's kind of crazy because look how wide the attacker's reserves are. So if I was if I in the setup, if I was the defender, any of my artillery would be all the way on the other side. All that non-moving stuff I would have down there. And then it's terrain. But I think on turn 1, if you're the attacker and you put one of the objectives pretty much center or close to center, depending on the terrain, and just did a quick drive, I guess it all depends on what the defender has that they could come on out. That's a lot of movement for the defender to come on out for those objectives. But then again, you do have 6 turns to go figure it out. I think.
I wish they would have made the objective area a little bit wider, because you get that real small strip, kind of like you do, and I think it's counterattack or whatnot, or it's just a really small area. If they would have made it a little bit bigger towards the board edge, that would give you a little bit more flexibility as the attacker, because you're really sandwiched in there quite a bit. And that area is so small, I'm a bit concerned that anything you have with that's like artillery is just going to be decimated. In this, it's just not a lot of area to utilize as the attacker. This is going to be really interesting. I haven't played this one. It is a very interesting mission. But wow, I wish they would have done a little bit more with the attacker area to widen it a little bit, because if you have a lot of artillery, this is another mission that I don't think would work in Team Yankee for either force. So I hope we don't see this in the packet, at least not in the Matrix.
But it has the same width as Bridgehead. It's the same deployment zone as Bridgehead.
Yeah, it's that real small area where the objective, especially if you have something in a way like a building that's in that area. You're essentially putting your objectives right on top of each other. So,
Yeah.
this is
this one, I don't know. I think it really depends on. I think it really depends on what you and your opponent bring to the battle. Well,
I think every mission is that way, right?
What's that?
I think every mission is that way, right?
Yeah, I think this one's more so because, well, the thing is, you just can't sit on the objective and try to beat them off. You have to go to it. And if you just have a bunch of dudes, well, they can just, maybe get machine gunned on their way to the objective. But then again, if the attacker doesn't have a lot of vehicles, he's hoofing it too. So this one's interesting. And then you got to get there and hold on to it to turn 6. I see this one having a lot of potential for assaults.
Yes, most definitely. A mission like this makes you have to bring a more balanced force. You're going to have to bring artillery. I think that'll be crucial in this. Where you're going to put it as the attacker, you hope for the best. And then recon. You're probably going to lean heavily on the recon because recon carry machine guns. And, especially like the Soviet BA-64, when you get, 7 machine gun carriers for 4 points or whatever it is. And you're just mowing down infantry as they try to take the objective, either the defender's infantry or the attacker's infantry. So, I think this is going to be a disadvantage for anybody that's going to bring like any type of heavy tank, because there's just not going to be enough of it to hang on to the objective, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think when the defender picks the side of the board, they're probably going to, one thing is, if I was the defender, I'd be looking is, what is my route to the objective that has the most cover? What is that route? How can I use the cover that's there? Is there some trees or a hill or something like that I can use to minimize my, going into the objective? And then it's pretty much, that's 16 inches trying to come on down from for the attacker. I don't know how much terrain there is or could be. Hell, there could be you could actually, a lot of people plop a village or something like that right there smack in the middle, and you have to come through a village. I think this, I want to play this one myself. I really do. And then, of course, after I play it, I would go, this mission sucks.
I hope we get a full playthrough on how you do as the objective on it, as the attacker on this one. We've seen enough tables that are like desert boards where there's like 2 hills and a couple buildings and a couple palm trees. And as the attacker trying to move, it's just, I don't. I think this mission would play well on a medium to heavy terrain table, but anything that's potentially medium and low, like a desert board, I don't think it's going to play very well. It's just going to be.
Could you imagine a pack front on a desert board? You got 2 guns on this side, 2 guns on this side, and it's you remember was it Indiana Jones? He was going through there, and the darts were coming out of the wall. That'd be kind of like running a gauntlet. Yeah,
that's exactly the way it would be.
No, which mission is this one that you're comparing that to?
It's Gauntlet,
called the Gauntlet. Yeah.
Gauntlet, yeah.
Like
So, yeah, it's a woo boy. I don't know. I
Don't
My-
don't
my-
grab the little shiny idol thing. You don't want the shiny idol thing.
yeah. Well, no, I think this one is like Brian said. It depends on missions, how much stuff's out there. My luck, there won't be any terrain.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I'm thinking of all these desert boards I played on, and trying to run this mission on it. It would just be, I don't know what you would do. Just kind of line up, go after one side, and hope for the best. I hope they get reserves on the other side of the board. But
Yeah, and all the defender has to do is just get you more than 8 inches away from the end objective.
Yeah.
So, where you have to go
it's
get
pretty
it.
hard. And here's the other stinker thing about this is being that this is media engagement, and your area is so small. How do you protect your artillery? Because you're not going to be able to use it in the first round because it's a media engagement. So you smoke the first round, and then your artillery's kind of sitting up. So potentially terrain dependent.
And I don't think there's any. I don't think you put out. Let me just double check. I don't think you put out any smoke. Not smoke. I don't think you put out any. Whatchamacallit?
10 tokens?
Yeah, I don't think you put a range in.
Well, no, it's media engagement. So,
yeah. No range in. Oh, bad. That's bad news for the Russians.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing about the smoke. Yeah, smoke would be good. Hey, the Russian smoke card, that's like 6 points. You have to have a range in marker to start, right?
Yeah. Well, no, in lieu of placing a marker, it's under cover of smoke. I believe it's 3 points. I don't believe you can use it in media engagements.
All right, so yeah, everyone's in the same boat there. Yeah. Well, anyway, I want to play this one. Yeah, I'll cry about it later, but I want to play this one.
I'll look forward to the after action report.
This sucks. This game. Anyway, big beanies. Anyway, okay, let's move on. Spear Point. Which, by the way, I think the name is not right because neither player gets a spearhead. It's Spear Point. No spearhead.
Yeah. So
running through it, immediate reserves for the attacker. This is an interesting one. The media engagement for the defender, ambush for the defender, scattered delayed reserves defender. No spearhead, both players. Said that already. The defender picks the long edge of the table. That's where they're going to defend. Which, by the way, it's interesting. If you look at the colors, normally, here the attackers is burnt orange. The defender's burnt orange on this one. Both players place objectives. The defender places 2 in this one. Attacker places 1 in here. And then on the other side, the attacker places another one. So there's the 2 objectives. Then the defender here is also putting 2 objectives in. Both players start off with 60%. The attacker objectives are hot on turn 6. The defender starts tracking on turn 6. And I believe that the defender goes first. It looks like I didn't write that down. I want to confirm that. The defender goes first. And who goes first? That Weasley defender goes first. Which is interesting.
By the way, the colors are correct.
What's that?
I said the colors are correct. The attacker is red.
Oh, never mind. Yeah. Whoops. I was reading the defender places 2 objectives. Yeah. Okay. Anyway. But yes, the attackers places the units there. I guess with that, because the defender could just spearhead out here and stop the attacker, or if you don't, for some strange reason, as the defender don't have recon, the attacker could then spearhead out this way if you had spearhead. So that's why ixnay on that.
Yeah.
Lordy, well, I think it's one of these things that can the attacker get on a cross? Now, by the way, the reserves, the scatter reserves are 1-2. You're in this corner, 16 inches in this corner, or 3-4, 16 inches in this from this corner, or you come on in this area here. Now, to me, that's really scattered. Yeah, because it's one of those things. If you put your objective here and make a B run for it, there's some people I know that cannot roll a 1 or 2 to save their life. They're just constantly rolling 4 or higher. I'm like, I gotcha.
Yeah,
you know who you are. Anyway,
Jake.
Huh? Yeah.
Jake.
Any of those people that just high die rollers. Oh, hey, 6665. Who knew? Yeah. Yay. Anyway, so yeah. Anyway, I think that's the interesting one here. Yeah, and they're delayed.
It's another very interesting media engagement. My problem is when I play anything that's scattered, they always come in. It doesn't matter what the number is; they always come in the opposite side of where they need to be. So I fear this mission just from that fact. But yeah, I mean, if you put that mission all the way to the top as the attacker, they could be bringing in something really nice on that 1-2 roll. But yeah, this is a very interesting. I have not played this one, but it's definitely one that I would love to play.
Right.
And probably will be playing once I go back down to Houston.
Yeah, I think this one, the defender has a lot of choices.
Mm-hmm.
And the attacker can just go, okay, what you going to do? Especially since the defender goes first. Do they move things out of their box to go to the objective that's in the no man area? Does the attacker make a full push for the objective in the box?
And you have to keep in mind there's 2 objectives you have to defend also.
Yeah.
The defender is a lot closer to your objectives than you are to potentially, the objectives that are real far. So if they make one good push, it's not like you can just turn around and be right there. It's going to take you a little bit of time to get back across the table. So the nice thing about the attackers is their reserves are just normal reserves, so to where they can bring them on wherever they please. To help with counter pushing if the defender so chooses to do so. But yeah, it's a very, very interesting mission.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, everything does start on turn 6, so there's a good chance that the attacker will have his reserves by then. I say that because I know mine will enter on turn 6. But then again, you start checking on the defender's turn 6. So, yeah, this one's interesting. How do you send a recon unit over, or what's the defender going to do? Does the defender say forget that? Maybe my reserves will take care of it and chance it there. I know there's a lot of different ways you can play it, and I think the defender who the defender holds yeah. Oh, by the way, the attacker gets to select his 60 points after you deploy.
Nice.
So you got that going for you, the attackers. So the defender, he picks and deploys, and then you pick what you're bringing on. So that's okay. I'm starting to like attacker a little bit better.
Yeah, that makes it.
Cat is on my hand.
It's a new
You watch.
way of doing things. I like that for the attacker.
I can't move anything when you're on top of my hand.
Yep.
So we don't see that in other missions yet, anyways. So that's a very unique detail that can balance out this particular mission.
Yeah. It's not a bad one. The cat's on the wire.
Yes, he's on top of the speaker wire here.
Yeah.
I just unplugged my thing here.
All right. I by the way, this is another one I'm looking forward to playing.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to playing.
I agree.
Yeah. So and especially the defender who has to make all those choices and then live with them because the attacker can go and be all very you can adjust a lot. You're like, oh wow, let me put this, and this there to counteract whatever they're doing. Because depending on where you place things, kind of can tell you what their role is going to be. So yeah, this one should be interesting. All right, we'll move on. So attacker defend. I know that maneuver had a lot of changes in it for attacker maneuver and such, but I think attacker defend has the biggest changes. And also I noted here, this is the only place where you get deep reserves. And there are 4 deep reserve missions here, which is Bridgehead, Dogfight, Killing Ground, and of course No Retreat. So 2 of them we already know, Bridgehead and No Retreat. But you got Dogfight and Killing Ground in there now. Of course, you have Encirclement and Fighting Withdraw. So yeah, it's the defenders really put in an interesting spot. Of course, if you're planning for it, it's great. If you weren't planning for it, why did you pick defend? I don't know. We'll find out. But let's take a look at these. I think the first one's up is Dogfight. So I got the little minefield icon here to remind me that there's minefields. You have an ambush, deep scattered reserves. So once again, this is a just like No Retreat. The shtick with this one is there are reserves, scattered reserves, and in the mission, 1-2 is this edge. It would be your left edge if you were facing the field from the short edge. 1-2 is the entire short edge. It's not 16 inches or anything. The entire short edge. 3-4 is the back edge, and 5-6 is the other side, the right side of the edge. So if you roll 5-6, you come on that right side anywhere in there. I think which gives you an advantage as the defender. If you get the roll, you come on this. You can come on someone's side. But the good news is that you got minefields as a defender. So you pick that edge. You both players place an ejected down, just like No Retreat. You got your minefields. There you got range in markers. In the just like No Retreat, the attacker's objective goes hot on turn 1, and the defender starts checking for their victory conditions on turn 6. And the attacker goes first. What? So I think this is just a different variation of no retreat.
Yeah, I think this is kind of leans back to like the old pincer mission.
Mhm.
You could pick one side or the other for essentially no retreat, and you just picked which side that you wanted to come in on. Then you stuck with that for the rest of the game. Adding scattered in that, I'm not. I don't think that brings anything to the mission. In fact, Jake had a game this past weekend, I believe, where they played Dogfight, and he wasn't overly impressed with the mission, being the defender, and I'd have to agree with him. I don't think. The fact that it's delayed as opposed to no retreat is immediate. I think that is it's not going to bode well for this particular mission. I don't think as the defender. The attacker's so close anyways. If you give them 3 turns to getting closer, I think there's going to be some issues with this particular mission, but it remains to be seen.
Well, I think one of the things about doing a scattered and making it delayed was the fact that you can. I think they were thinking maybe someone get on their sides. You're already 20 inches or 24 inches on the board already, or sorry, 36 inches on the board coming from a side. Now, is it the side that the objective is on? Is it the side that the battle's on? That guess you got 2/3 chance. And that's if you're one of those people that put an objective in a corner and hope for the best. But that's what putting minefields across.
1/3 chance to be in an area that's going to be effective. Because you generally, as the attacker, are going to pick one side or the other. And if it's in the back, then it's just like no retreat. If it's 5/6 and you put it on 1/2 side, then that doesn't really help. So really, the only thing that's going to help that objective is a 1/2. So you only have a 1/3 chance to get it where it would be effective. But also, it's now in an area that could potentially be eliminated by the attacker. So it's just going to be that much closer. You don't have an option like a no retreat to kind of gracefully move your units up. They're just right there for everybody to shoot at.
Yes pick them off at their leisure. I don't know all about how coming in. I know there's a couple no retreat battles I did. If it was this one, it'd been completely different.
No.
So yeah, this one's gonna be interesting. I'm looking. I'm not looking forward to playing it. I mean, I want to play it, but I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah, and the other thing, we're assuming that they're going to get it on reserves on turn 3. But what if they get, as happens to a lot of people, units as slow as possible? Now it's turn 6. Can you imagine not having any reserves on no retreat until turn, that deep at turn 6, basically?
Well, how about this? There's some Soviet cards there's a couple cards out there that mess up your reserves.
Yeah, the partisan cards. Yep.
That'd be big here.
Yep.
Anyways,
I think they're like 1 or 2 points. So I think we'll see less of under cover of smoke and when people reallocate those 3 points to something else, I think we're going to see a lot of the partisan cards start showing up. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm not overly impressed with this particular mission. I think I like the idea behind the scattered, but being that it's delayed, I think that puts a little bit too much penalty on the defender, especially if they have a bad series of rolls to be able to get. I mean,
you get a minefield.
6 turns, especially with the higher 4s, behind it, and you're 40% just kind of waiting off the board.
Yeah. So on Dogfight, I just want to check one thing. Yep. Yeah, you get minefields. I mean, come on. What's so bad about that? I don't know. This should be interesting. Once again, I think it's all about maybe tracking this stuff and see how well these do in mass.
Yeah.
All right. We'll move on. So that's the whole about the reserves, about the defender's half of the table on that edge. Okay, well, this one's definitely different. It kind of reminds me of a Tetris game. Gesundheit.
Sorry.
Yeah. Now, this one, Encirclement. So there's an ambush for the defender, minefields for the defender. Now, it's written 1 for every 50 points. Okay. So 100-point game, 2 minefields?
Yes, or in our 105, it would be 3 minefields.
Right, but it's you're instead of 4 or 5. I'm like, okay. I hope make sure that's not a typo.
Yeah. Because if you have 5 minefields, I mean that is over 20 inches. You could almost completely surround one attacker's corner with with minefields.
Well, you could just put it just like this.
Oh yeah. I mean,
the defender picks the long edge of the table. Oh, by the way, the defender has deep scattered, just regular scattered reserves.
Yeah.
The defender picks the long edge of the table. Attacker places 2 objectives, which is interesting. Is it's a T shape. There's range-in markers. The defender has 60. The attacker has 100, but they need to split their force. So up to 60% in one box, and the other 40 needs to be in the other. The attacker, the objectives are hot in turn 1, and the defender starts checking on turn 6. So this is one of those things. Do you put an objective, like right, here, and then push for it, and then have the other one in the back or off to the side, or do you put 2 off the sides? I mean, you got options, but then again, if you put it on, it's. I don't know. Once again, I think the terrain kind of tells you probably as the attacker where you want to put the objective. Kind of like so. Yeah. A lot of interesting things on this one. Plus, the other thing is, as the defender, you're not too far from, all of a sudden they leave their artillery over there, and all of a sudden some recon just shoots right out. And by the way, in this one, Encirclement, A, B, C, D, E, Encirclement does have reserves. So there is no reason that the defender, hold on a sec here. There's no reason that the defender couldn't shoot up a reserve recon up here up on top to go. Oh, all right, you need to protect your artillery.
Well, I mean, you could push recon up as a defender towards that edge. I think that's probably a recipe to get you to lose your recon.
Oh, what else is there for?
Well, you can go right up the side, the short edge, and then get into the back of the.
Right. Okay. That's an alternative.
Yeah. So I don't, because there's going to be so much going towards that middle area anyways. Why put a very weak unit in the crossfire? You're just begging to give up 3 points. I think it would be more common to see maybe recon on the sides and then have the attacker use that 4-inch little strip on the back to recon out. I may as the I don't think you put recon in the middle. I don't think I would. You would have to be pretty heavily terrained, and then at that, I may just move it 4 inches just so that the attacker really can't recon too much, and then just scoot them back into a more protected area. But this reminds me of the old kind of like surrounded mission. Where you had as the attacker, you had to split forces on either side of the board, and then the defender deployed in the middle. It's kind of an offshoot of that. I like the fact that they're forcing you to put 40%, 60%, whereas kind of the cheeky thing to do surrounded in the old missions or the version 3 was just to put like one unit on the other side, and you met your requirement for both sides of the table. I think there's a lot of options for the attacker here. I think the defender has a very nice deployment area, including being able to protect that objective area that goes up to the midline. I think this is going to be a very nice mission to play. I like the reduced minefields. I think that should, because basically anything over 50 points is going to get 2 until you get to 100, and then anything over 100 is going to get you 3. So you're going to have, for the majority of your games, 2 or 3 minefields to be able to use, and to me that's enough. The 5 that we have on the table right now is getting a little bit out of control.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm looking forward to playing this one. I don't see any. I guess once again, it depends on the terrain, where you're going to put stuff, on how you're going to push the attack. And also depends on what the defender has. But it is it's scattered immediate. I don't think it's so bad in this one. By the way, the thing about the reserves, there it is. The units reserve 16 inches from the corner. So these are 16, from the corners. So it's one of those things. If you're pushing from one coming out, and you're pushing say you put the ejector there, you're pushing. All of a sudden, these guys come and you're on your flank. I mean, it's once again, or like we were talking about, you and I know if we need a 5 or 6, we'll roll 1 or 2.
Oh, goodness. It's funny. I played a mission the other day with that had scattered reserves, and I needed a 3+ basically, and I rolled a 1. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to use my lucky card. Slammed it down. Proceeded to roll another 1. And it was just like, at that point, it's just like the dice are taunting me. They're like, you're never going to get it where you need it. But this is a fun looking mission. I think it pulls a couple of the older missions together, kind of like Surrounded. And I look forward to playing this. It's going to be pretty interesting.
I think it's going to be good.
And one thing people need to, and people that are watching this this podcast or this webcast are going to know, it's only one minefield for 50 points. So I'm going to bet that a lot of people aren't going to read. They're just going to see minefields defender, and they're going to do what they're used to doing, right? 1 for 25 points.
Right.
Just make sure you watch that when you're playing, because I do think, like we have now, 5 minefields are going to make this mission unplayable for the attackers. So
Right.
that's an important change, I think, for the 50 points per. I like that.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So that's about the reserves. Killing ground. Okay. This one's interesting. So it's kind of like reverse bridgehead almost. It's kind of like almost. Yeah, it's nothing like being definitive there, Lewis. Anyway, ambush defender. Deep, scattered, delayed reserves defender. Minefields. And that's 1 for 25. The defender picks the long edge of the table to defend from. The attacker and defender place 1 objective. No, I take that back. What I stink. The attacker places 2 objectives. That copy and paste for you. But it's all about attention to detail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, range in markers. Defender has 60%. The attacker has 100. Objectives are hot on turn 1, and the defender starts checking turn 6. So definitely no recon move. There's minefields, and you got to go through that. So now the thing is that will these edges make a difference for the defender, because the objectives are down here, and you put something up here. I mean, other than something to harass the backfield, it's not going to be in defense of an objective, or at least it could be, but I doubt it. And the reserves, 16 inches from the corner. So this 5'6", that's 60. It's really deceptive. They should be down here. Really, just want to make sure.
Does it say which corner? Because it holds 2 corners.
Must enter from the corner.
Okay. So that gives me 4 corners to come 16 inches on.
The unit arrives at the edge. It must enter the table anywhere along the edge. If the unit arrives in the corner, it must enter the corner. That wasn't really clear, was it? Yeah, I was looking at just assuming that was down here, which I bet it is. I
don't know, but the dice tell a different story. I think the dice are placed in the right area, and you get to pick your corner. So
get to pick the corner. Could you imagine coming on like right here?
Oh yeah, 16 inches. You say goodbye to whatever is hiding it. That artillery that's been pestering me all game. Oh yeah, something's coming in and getting that.
Yeah.
Now I've played this one, and we didn't do it that way. I was the defender in this one, and I tell you, having those extended edges for ambush was pretty darn handy.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
sure it was.
I ended up not utilizing them. I had a better spot on my corner, but I could have utilized them and gotten the same effect, really. But this is a really strange mission. On the table we played on, I would say was medium density terrain, and there's still a lot of sight lines. Table like that. and being able to utilize all the way down.
Let me. I'll read what it says here.
Okay.
At the start of the defender's first turn, they roll a die. Okay. On a roll of 5+, their first unit arrives from reserves. Yay! It may be any unit of their choice. I choose you, but must arrive now. The reserves move on from the defender's short edge of the table, the start of the moving step. I think that it really should read long edge of the table since you picked the long edge.
That's not where 2/3 of your reserves. So to me, this is a copy and paste.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So I think every mission says this little blurb about how to roll for reserves. So you're not going to get any difference out of that. The main thing is, where do reserves arrive? And to me, it just says a corner, which you have as the defender. You have 4 corners to choose from, and then the long table edge.
Someone misses the mullet. By the way, James, any Flames tournament? Yes, there are plenty. I announced that first. So after the intro and introducing the producer and talk about the intro song, then the next thing is about the tournaments. So yeah, there's plenty of tournaments. And we did list the one down in Delaware. So all right. See how this is? This is interaction. You guys, it's live. That's what we're doing. We're interacting.
Yes.
You say something, I say something back.
That's right.
It's interacting. It's communication at its finest. That's what we're about here. Communication.
So
Anyway, back
more
to this.
back on the killing ground. I think this is going to be something that needs to be modified by the TOs. I mean, you can. It's like, to me, it doesn't make a lot of sense to have the reserves come in from the attacker side corner. Not because I think that the wording prohibits that, but I think because it's so far away from where the objectives are at. If you have units to spare at that point, that you can just send it into their backfield, the attacker's backfield, then I mean, the game's going pretty well for you at that point anyways, as a defender. So I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue. But again, it'll be up to the TOs to be able to modify it. So hey, it can only be on the long edge that we deployed from. But if you're going through that hassle, then maybe they should take a look at contact also and fix that one.
All right. Yeah. I see there's the contact theme. I think a clarification saying that comes from the long edge. I think that would help out for if you guys are TOing, kind of make a note on that probably just say the long edge so that they come in just like any normal scattered reserves in most of the missions.
Hey! We can't have normal. These are abnormal missions. So
these are breaking the mold.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely breaking the mold, which is fine because we do want to spice it up, and when the time's right.
Yeah, I just don't think it'll be that, like I mentioned before, that big of an issue because it's just if you have stuff that you can just throw away that's not protecting your objectives, then as the defender, then the game's going pretty well for you, at that point. So I don't think it'll be heavily utilized.
All right, we'll move on. There's the thing about the reserves, Okay. So the last one, I think this is the last grouping, which is Maneuver defend. In this one, you get cornered, Gauntlet again, Outflanked, and Spear Point as the new ones. So breakthrough and no retreat. So it's big change for this one for the maneuver defend. You get the 2 old ones and 4 new ones. So let's take a look at them. We'll do cornered first. So cornered is kind of like that other one where it's kind of a half, except it's like it but different. So the special rules. There's ambush for the defender, minefields for the defender, immediate reserves for the defender. The defender gets to pick a corner to defend from. The attacker places 2 objectives. You have range-in markers. Another copy and paste thing. Just so much for. I suck. Defenders 60%, the attackers 100, and the objectives are hot in turn 1, and the defender starts checking on turn 6. And you know what? I just better check all that just to make sure. I think that is the case because I suck and I'm doubting myself. I need to take a look. Cornered, checking. Nope. Turn 6. It's all turn 6. It's a good thing I looked. It's all turn 6. Even though it's immediate reserves with minefields. So,
Yeah, I mean this is outflanked with the short edge as opposed to the long edge, and you could turn it into outflanked by just spearheading down as the attacker if the defender lets you. It's what probably happened was they came up with quartered first and are like, hey, what happens if we make it an L instead of a? But I mean, this is going to be a solid mission. I think it's a little bit smaller. You get the really small objective area for the attacker, which is unfortunate.
right.
Especially if you have a piece of terrain in there, it tends to cram your objectives real close together, and then the defender displaces infantry right on top of it or whatnot. So that's unfortunate, but and the reserves come right in. The defender reserves can get to the objective very, very quickly. But I mean, it's a solid mission.
Once again, about recon, the defender could send recon down, or if you don't, the attacker could send recon across.
Yeah.
And then come up that way, or just straight this way. Holy mackerel! James, man, I haven't seen it. I thought you were dead, man. You get that a lot. Wow, James, I think the last time I saw you was at Adepticon, maybe 3-4 years ago, or maybe 2 years ago. But anyway, it's been a long time since I played Flames. I'm looking at missions overall. And finally back in the U.S., but COVID has changed much gaming since I got back. Well, we'll see that. Yeah. So, James, I'm glad you found the show. Hey, James, you probably missed a lot. There are 42 other shows as riveting as this one. Okay. So yeah, I could talk. Oh my God. You signed back up, and you've been in Italy for the last 3 years. Oh, Italy with COVID. That must have been really exciting.
The last time I checked, you're not there now, but those always teams coming from Italy for ETC. So I know they have an active Flames of War footprint there. So I don't know where in Italy they're at. They tend to be, from what I remember, scattered all over. But if you have to go back there, there's definitely groups that play over there.
All right. Well, let's talk back about this mission. I think you kind of summed it up. I mean, you can do a recon move or not, depending on what your defender allows you to do. The defender's really close to the objective. And I just think you're the attacker. You are wading through knee-deep gore, especially at the minefields. This one should be interesting. I'm going to kind of give the edge towards the defender a little because how close the immediate reserves are.
Yeah, and also what I would do as a defender is not necessarily try to block the attacker in with spearhead. I would come almost straight down from that leading edge of the objective area and kind of claim some of that as an additional buffer. So if I want to put infantry down, it takes them a little bit longer before the attacker. It slows the attacker down quite a bit. And then that gives your reserves more opportunity to get into the fight. So instead of having just a little 4-inch area before getting to the objectives, you can push that out quite a bit. So I think as long as the defender has spearhead, it's going to be harder for the attacker to get in there.
Yeah. I don't know. This was one of those missions I look forward to playing to it, but I don't. I just think it's going to be a slog either way. But I'll tell you one thing. Yeah, you're going to have to get up there and get bloodied. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this one should be interesting. The other thing, too, as the defender with the minefields, you could, direct, especially if your opponent's attacking Soviets, you put those minefields in the right spot, they're going to go around or something. Or you can make it a real narrow front where they need to come through. Anyway. You know what? That's it. Let me go back to the full matrix here. So, yeah, that's it. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. All right. So there it is. We just went over these missions. I highly encourage. By the way, I'm feeling good about it. I think some of the main, I think contact comes up a little too much. I'm not a big fan. I think I mentioned that before. It's one of those. I think Brian mentioned it too. Yeah, as a defender, your chances of winning or trying to win is pretty, unless you break the other guy. Because after you pretty much stop the assault, then you want to push for the other objective. 2 hours plus have already gone by, so trying to get up there is a little rough in the time allotted for the mission. That's the only bad thing about it. The rest of it, I don't know, it should be fun. I'm kind of glad they renamed brought back Fighting with Draw, because Rear Guard, I always forget the name of it. I'm like, it's like Fighting with Draw, but different.
Yeah.
Rear Guard. Yeah. Anyway, why reminds me, if you guys can get ready of what did we learn today?
Yeah, Patrick's already got some.
I know. I see he's already chomping at the bit there. I do want to go back to a statement. Jake writes, Joe, if you have time at the end, which this is towards it, please explain the goofy rule about determining command during a previous movement step to Brian. Brian, who's right here. Preferably very slow with small words so that he can understand. Now, we don't like try to discourage other people, but
Oh, poor Brian.
yeah, he says he played dumb. Now he doesn't say he is dumb because we know Brian's not dumb.
Yeah.
On me in the last tournament. Now, Brian, you didn't know that how that goofy thing figures out about in command and what is the definition of in command?
Yeah, I think the question. Well, I didn't know that before Jake's game came up with Chris, and the situation they were in a little bit different than what came up in our game. So I think that was played incorrectly. But yeah, I understand it now. I've been putting some scenarios together and had Phil take a look at them and explain it. So, and it is quite possibly the dumbest thing I've ever heard, but it is.
Well, it's one of the, it is an odd thing. You have to read the book with it, and it says in command, and it tells you the definition of in command. And in command is basically the end of the movement step, the last time you moved. Yeah. So when you're getting shot up or shot, when your pieces are dying, if they were all in command, they're still in command, even though they might be over 6 inches.
And here's the other thing is now at the end of the movement step, you have to go over every team, and especially if they're leaving teams behind, and determine if they're out of command or in command, and mark them so you don't forget. It's such a stupid, convoluted way. Just check the cases of people spreading out so far are extremely limited. Just make it simple, especially for people just coming in to understand. Is at the end they should move that. They should move checking in command to the end of the movement step, as opposed to in the starting step, is the way to fix that. So, it's completely dumb the way that they have it written right now.
I think they might end up that way because move, shoot, assault. When you move, if you're not in command and you shoot, you got that +1.
Only if you move. If you don't move, then you don't have
the penalty.
Right.
Even though you're out of, if you're out of
see that as a convincing argument of why they have it that way. It's at the end of because you're checking in the starting step, and in that step you just check in command if the offender or the player 2 has the opportunity to do significant damage to that unit, then morale is going to suffer with that unit. If they have, regardless if the other people were in command at the beginning of the shooting phase, if they're not, then there is no NCO there to say, hey, get your butt up and move, because they're out of command. So it makes sense to, in the starting step, you check. You have less than 3 stands in command for infantry. Okay, you don't, or make a last stand on that, and not have the game slow down where I have to go after every movement phase. Okay, is this team in command, out of command? Is this team in command, out, and then mark it? It just slows the game down. It's not. It just doesn't make sense to do it that way.
So you're not a big fan?
No.
Yeah, I know. I think it does slow it down. Also, I think because the thing is the step-by-step checking, it's the only thing that you have to go back another step. You have to go back to see if this step's still good.
You have to go back into your opponent's previous turn, and that's what I'm saying. You have to sit down and say, okay, you have to mark every stand like that may be questionable, Is it in command? Is it out of command? And keep track of that. It's the only thing like that where in the game it doesn't fit. So, yeah.
Well, let me couple notes. So for those who joined late, so the missions, if you go to battlerankings.com to the gee whiz, I forgot my own thing. Where is it? Did I close it up? I might have closed it up. All right. If you go to Battle Rankings, there's the content, and you can download. I have links. I did all the work for you. I have all the links. I have all the links to Battlefront's site for downloading, and it's all on one page, so you don't have to go scattering around or doing a search or something like that. I have them all. So I have the 2 missions. Now, I kind of want to explain something about the missions. The printable version says April. The PDF version that has the nice backgrounds and everything, and that has the color and all the colors, it says March of 2021. So I'm speaking attention to detail, I guess. I don't know. The one says March, the other one says April. But they are the same thing. It's just the printable one. You just don't waste all the ink to get on the background. It's just white. I highly recommend printing it out. When you do, and you do duplexing, the front half is the first page of each section is the one with the diagram, and it has the special rules, setup, deployment, who goes first, and winning the game. And any special rules are on the back. So everything you need is on the one piece of paper. Then I highly recommend taking it, if you don't have a laminator, go get everything laminated, and then then hole punch it with a ringer, and then you have everything in one handy-dandy pack, and you can play the game better. And I think I've said before about playing the game. Oh, look at that. See, great minds think alike. Patrick laminated his today.
Or you can skip the lamination process and not spill your beer on it.
That is true, too.
That would be good.
Yeah. But the thing about the laminating it is that, it's you can throw it in and out of your bag, and it's kind of easier to handle. It's also easier to spot, too, on the table. You're looking like, what is that damn mission? Oh, there it is. It's laminated, so pick it up. Yeah, and don't bind it all together or staple it with a binder. That way you can lay it flat and have the mission out. These are Joe's things to make your game and life easier. What else? Battle Rankings, you can go there and download them. I got, as Battlefront changes it up, I match right with them. Sometimes they use the same link, so it's real easy. I just changed the title, so that you could go there and download it. So all that wonderful stuff's there. Highly recommend it. And I think let's do some. What did we learn? Anne, did you learn anything today?
I learned that Gauntlet was a lot like Indiana Jones in the opening scene.
In the opening scene, right? Yeah, Gauntlet is like the opening scene in Indiana Jones where he's trying to get the gold-headed idol, and you got the darts flying back and forth.
Yeah.
Brian, did you learn anything?
I learned that you like lamination.
He likes lamination.
Yes. It's one of the best things in life. The lamination of the women.
No, that's lamentation.
Oh, never mind.
You're weird.
I know. That's what makes it interesting. Patrick, I learned today Brian really doesn't like contact.
Yeah.
Yep, he doesn't.
Worst mission.
What, Rich? I bought a 24 pocket presentation book. Better office products from sign the sheets into the clear packets, and I can reuse them when the next one comes out. Oh, okay. All right.
Or you can, when you turn it upside down, they all fall out. The slides, then you'll be like, oh, maybe I should.
Well, it's one of those. If you're doing the packets, you slide them in, kind of the way
like a sheet protector thing.
A sheet protector, yeah. Do sheet protectors. What else? What did I learn today? I learned. Did I learn anything? I learned I don't have attention to detail. I need to update some of these things.
You learn copy and paste is sometimes not the best thing to do when doing these missions.
Well, I was like, this is one of those things where I as soon as this came out, I said,
an editor.
I do need. I need a lot. I need a mommy. It was. It's usually when we think about what we're going to do. It's the Sunday before. It's the Sunday before the Wednesday that I come up with something and we put it together. And I know everyone thinks these are well polished shows and we got all our act together. But like the copy Ann read at the beginning of the show, I wrote that maybe 40 minutes before we got on air. Is that about it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I edited it. I did.
Yeah, and you edited it. And you did a great read, by the way.
Thank you.
You're welcome. John, you need to come earlier. That's when I announced things. Yeah, Team Yankee Masters. It's going to be at Family Time Games
in Indianapolis.
I'm TOing. Basically, it's going to be the same as last year. Because with the COVID stuff. I'm wait a minute. You work, dude? Come on. No, it. Let me guess. You're on break and you're in your car listening to this right now. That's my guess. I bet he's second shift doing that right now. Anyway, Team Yankee. I got the go ahead to do it. I'm keeping it simple. He says he just wrote down maybe. I will not let my boss. I will not confirm or deny. But don't worry. Not many people watch this show, including I'm sure your boss is not one of them. But as far as the thing about Team Yankee, since I'm TOing, I can control it better being local. Plus,
maybe his boss is on Twitch.
I don't think his boss is on Twitch. Only young hip kids are on Twitch. He is on Twitch? Okay, anyway. He just said he is. All right. I digress. But when I say I learned I suck at detail.
Okay. You're not detail.
I'm actually a big idea guy.
Yeah.
I'm a big idea guy. But when this came out, I said, hot diggity dog, I know what I'm doing early. And I started putting all the stuff that you see together. I started putting it together, and I'm like, oh, I have plenty of time. Kick back, relax. And then
Tuesday shows up. Ah!
Yeah, I know. Well, hold on. My wife did the most evil thing. Okay.
What did I do?
She did the most evil thing. She started to watch some British series called Home Fire, right?
Home Fires, yeah.
Home Fires, which is about a British town, Great Paxton, which is maybe 50 miles north of London. During World War II, so it was following the story arc. The war breaks out, and it was following various people in this town. So basically, think Downton Abbey.
No.
Without the rich people, but there's some rich people, but it's following everybody in this town as it goes through the time, as it goes through the war.
Right.
But I got sucked into the stupid soap opera. I'm like, I'm sitting there. I'm like, who's that? What are they doing? Who's that? Well, why don't they don't like that guy? Why don't they like that guy? And she's like, that's the butcher's wife. Shh, shh, shh. Oh, what's he doing? Oh, that's an abusive husband. I'm like, oh, what? She drugging him? She was anyway.
She was drugging him. Yeah.
She was drugging him. Anyway, so yeah. So anyway, so I got sucked into that, and maybe shame on me, but anyway. Actually, yes. Foley's War.
Oh, Foyle's War is different. That's actually pretty good. That went on for like 7 seasons.
We did watch that one.
Foyle's War was pretty good.
Which is the one I got you sucked into?
Doc Martin.
Doc Martin. I like
Another British television
British television show. Yeah, you need to study Doc Martin. But Rich, is that Foyle's War? Oh, that's by Foyle.
No, Home Fires is different than Foyle's War, but it's similar to Foyle's War, yeah.
Well, so there's these two gals, and one says, "Let's run away to America." Rich says Doc Martin is a good series. It is a good series. I'm still waiting for the final season to come back, or
we might have to look for it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so these two gals, they were going to go to America to escape, not just to go and start a new life. And one of them pulls out. They haven't seen each other for a while. They go, "Hey, let's go away." They pull out. She goes, "I bought one-way tickets to America." Shows her the tickets, and it has the name of the ship liner on it. And I'm like, well, okay, boy, they're putting me that they put that in my face, right? So it's like the
Alexis.
Yeah, SS Alexis. And I'm like, SS Alexis. I'm like, oh, they're dead. You're dead. Basically, is the Doc Martin or the Home Fire? What's the Home Fire on?
Home Fires is they're both on Amazon. I was looking at watching them through Amazon, but
Amazon.
It's PBS.
PBS,
and they were a PBS series.
Oh yeah, PBS. They like
Foyle's War was we got that on Acorn, I think.
Acorn, right?
Acorn Television, yeah.
Oh, what was the stupid Toronto detective show that we were watching?
Oh, that was Murdoch Mysteries.
Murdoch Mysteries, yeah, 20 seasons or something stupid like that. Anyway, good God. So, but I'll digress in that one. But so the thing, here's the thing about the SX Alexis,
I think.
Alexis.
Yeah.
The ship goes out. Gets torpedoed. There was, I don't know, I think there were 68 souls on board, which is not much. Well, obviously, who's traveling the Atlantic during a war, especially when the U-boats are out there, right? Anyway, 68 souls, 28 survive.
Mm-hmm.
They get picked up by a destroyer, who then the next day was torpedoed, all hands down.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I made it. Oh, damn it.
That's like the guy that the Japanese guy that got he got nuked in Hiroshima and then went to go to his family's place in Nagasaki. got nuked there also.
Wow.
He survived.
Sometimes they're just gunning for you,
You got a big target painted on your forehead.
I know. And the thing about Nagasaki is it wasn't the original target.
Yeah.
The original target had cloud cover, and they went to B, which was Nagasaki. So anyway, so Ann started watching this show, and I got a little wrapped up. What's the one? The veterinarian that you're watching too.
All Creatures Great and Small.
That's not warish, but
no,
All Creatures 20s. Great and Small.
I love that one. That's good.
Yeah, I think
they only did one season of that so far because of COVID. So
anyway,
we'll see if I'll see any more of that.
So anyway, there's the shows. Anyone else learn anything new that I guess
that Joe and Ann like watching British television shows.
No, that's not what it is. Ann likes to watch British television shows, and I'm just dumb enough to get sucked into them. Well, oh, by the way, that home fire.
Yeah.
There's a lot of tea drinking.
Yeah. Oh gosh, they drink tea all the time.
It is like every scene is like they come over, they talk. I
have found my people. I love to drink tea. You guys, oh my gosh.
I'm like
constantly making tea at work. It's like I'm
constantly making tea. There's like tea for everything. Come over, some tea. Oh, I could not dream of saying no.
It's a cultural thing. They make tea in England for when someone visits, they make you tea. It's just what they do.
Here in America, when someone visits, you offer them a brewski.
Yeah. Caffeine or alcohol, which one do you want?
Well, anyway, there you go. So
depends on who you're visiting.
Yeah, it's true.
It depends on who you're visiting.
So Brian, good luck this weekend. What by the way, you want to give do you know what you're running?
I'm bringing 2 lists. Bringing the 20th Progression Von Salken, 4 Panthers as the 42 points for reserves. As I mentioned earlier, I talked to Lad, and apparently the Bagration book has been a huge hit there. So I'm bringing a British list to just in case we have an opportunity to even out the numbers, and it's a play on I think the British Desert Rats list that you brought to Masters. This is my own variation of that. I've got a recce squadron, so I can get an extra set of 3-inch mortars, and Desert Rats infantry, a bunch of Wasp, a bunch of M10s, and a bunch of Crocodiles. Yeah, so we'll see what I get to play when I get there, but it should be fun. It should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a good story. By the way, I'll have you back on, not in the near future, and you could tell me about their record collection.
The record collection, okay?
Yes,
I will be sure to take pictures.
It was a record store first.
Okay.
They got vinyl that is like old as you and I are.
No kidding.
Oh yeah, I'm like Coltrane. I was just going through there, going, "Oh, this is awesome." It's just all this like jazz and blues and things that I would say people in Huntsville don't buy. I'm just saying, nothing against Huntsville.
Yeah.
What was the name of that one place? The rib place. Dreamland. Have the guys there take you to Dreamland for dinner.
Okay.
And when they first mentioned it to me, I thought it was a
strip joint or something.
A strip joint or something like that. I'm like, hey, we're going to take you to Dreamland. I'm like, I am a married fellow. That's happily married, by the way. Happily married. Anyway, happily married. And they're like, no, it's a rib joint. And it was really good. And I had so much of it, brought it home and had some of it reheated, and what would you say?
It was amazing.
It was amazing. It was reheated. It was amazing.
It was really good. And I'm not a big fan of ribs either.
Yeah, so
I liked it a lot.
yeah, it's down around the corner. It's like not even 5 minutes from the store. So
Fantastic.
yeah,
I'll check it out.
Dreamland. All right, everybody. Anne is going to play us out, and play us out, Anne.
Pick it up where we left off. So we started with the other movement. Now we go into the next one.
Who's the composer again?
Rossini.
Rossini?
Yeah. Rossini.
Rossini?
Yes.
Well, it sounds like a pasta.
It does sound like a pasta, but it's not.
Hey, what you got? Oh, put the Rossini on.
What are you thinking of Rossini?
Yeah. Anne's over there bouncing up and down. She's like head banging. you know, this it's hardcore. Now, this is the William. Yeah, well, it's the William Tell Overture,
Right.
which they stole for the Lone Ranger. So people, hey, I think it's the Lone Ranger song. Hey, thanks, Patrick. Yeah, I'm imitating Anne. Hold on. That's what she's doing over there. Oh. Bum, bum, bum. Ba, ba, bum. Good night, everyone.